Hey there! Thanks for joining us on Secrets of the Ancients. If you want to catch this and future videos, please support us by subscribing, liking and leaving a comment. It really helps us out and keeps these mysteries coming your way. Frozen civilizations found under the ice in Antarctica. Did you know that the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was minus 8.6 degrees Fahrenheit? And it was measured in Antarctica. But what if I told you that beneath this frozen, hostile expanse there might be traces of ancient civilizations? Sounds kind of crazy, right? Stick with me, because this icy mystery is a rabbit hole that goes deep into our past.
Today we're diving into a world often overlooked in discussions about ancient civilizations, the frozen continent of Antarctica. Now, Antarctica is probably the last place you'd think of when it comes to human history. It's the coldest, windiest, driest continent on Earth, with an unforgiving landscape covered in ice up to a mile thick. It's a frozen wilderness, the very definition of desolation. But what if I told you this barren land might once have been a bustling hub of ancient activity?
Over the years, Antarctica has inspired a whole range of theories, partly because it's so hard to reach and so dangerous to explore. Some theories claim that under miles of ice lies the remains of civilizations we can't even imagine. These ideas often come from controversial interpretations of satellite images, ancient maps, and strange structures seen beneath the ice, things that might hint at human or even non-human activity.
One of the most famous pieces of evidence is the Piri Reis map, created in 1513 by Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis. A section of this map seems to show the northern coast of Antarctica without ice, which has led to speculation about advanced ancient seafaring cultures. Critics argue that the map was simply a compilation of older, possibly flawed sources.
Satellite images have also fueled curiosity. In 2006, Google Earth users spotted what looked like a human face in Antarctica, sparking theories about a lost civilization. Scientists, however, say it's just pareidolia, our brains seeing familiar shapes where none exist. Some theories go further, suggesting Antarctica once housed alien civilizations, pointing to pyramid-like shapes under the ice. But so far, no solid scientific evidence backs this up. So what's the truth? Could an ancient civilization really have lived in this frozen desert? Or are these theories just the product of overactive imaginations and misinterpreted data?
One of the boldest claims is that Antarctica is actually the lost continent of Atlantis. Proponents say that around 12,000 years ago, the entire landmass shifted from a mild climate to the South Pole due to a sudden movement of Earth's crust, an idea made popular in the 1950s by Charles Hapgood. According to this theory, the catastrophe froze an advanced civilization almost overnight. Some believe the pyramids seen in satellite images are their remains, but most scientists insist these formations are just the result of natural erosion and Antarctica's fierce winds.
There's also the idea of an ancient alien base hidden under the ice. Supporters point to strange shapes and anomalies in the landscape, along with alleged UFO sightings. Again, mainstream science finds no convincing proof. Ancient maps are often brought into the debate. The Piri Reis map, along with others like the Orontius Phineas map, appears to show an ice-free Antarctic coastline, suggesting that some ancient mapmakers knew of the continent long before its official discovery in 1820. Skeptics say these maps are misinterpretations of other coastlines, combined with guesswork.
Well, according to current scientific understanding, Antarctica has been covered in ice for about 34 million years. Ice core samples, that they really confirm this timeline.
Modern humans only appeared about 300,000 years ago, and migration out of Africa began around 70,000 years ago. Even if humans could have reached Antarctica back then, surviving in such brutal conditions would have been, well, nearly impossible.
While scientists don't reject all unconventional ideas, the Piri Reis map still raises interesting questions. They tend to credit such feats to known historical cultures rather than to unknown lost civilizations.
Before it froze over, Antarctica was part of the supercontinent Gondwana, which existed millions of years ago in the southern hemisphere. Fossil evidence suggests it once had a warm climate, with abundant plant and animal life, but that was long, long before humans ever appeared. Still, the mysteries of Antarctica continue to fascinate researchers and explorers. And speaking of ancient mysteries, consider Egypt's Great Sphinx. What if it's older than we've been taught?
Some geologists, like Dr. Robert Schoch in the 1990s, noticed erosion patterns that look like they were caused by heavy rainfall, the kind Egypt hasn't seen in thousands of years, possibly since the end of the last ice age.
This would mean the Sphinx was already ancient before the first pharaohs took the throne.
Then there's the controversial theory by researcher Robert Temple. He suggested the Sphinx wasn't originally a lion-bodied, human-headed statue at all, but a massive sculpture of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead.
The current human head is much smaller in proportion to the body, suggesting it was recarved from a larger original head. In Egyptian mythology, Anubis was a guardian of the afterlife, fitting for the Sphinx's position facing the pyramids.
Mainstream Egyptologists remain skeptical, pointing out the long-standing symbolic importance of lion-bodied figures in the ancient world, and noting the lack of ancient texts supporting the Anubis idea.
But whether it's Antarctica's icy secrets or the Sphinx's mysterious past, these kinds of theories remind us that history still holds plenty of unanswered questions, and that's exactly what makes it so exciting. The pyramids of Giza aren't just incredible because of their massive size, they're also mind-blowing for their mathematical precision and perfect alignment. The kind of accuracy they achieved is hard to match even today, with all our modern tools and technology. That raises a big question. How could an ancient civilization pull off something like this?
Let's start with the Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu. It's the largest of the three, originally standing at an astonishing 481 feet tall. For more than 3,800 years, it held the title of the tallest man-made structure in the world, until Lincoln Cathedral was built in England in the 14th century. But it's not just about size. The base of the Great Pyramid is almost a perfect square. Each side measures about 756 feet, and the difference in length between the four sides is less than 2 inches. Even more impressive, each side is aligned almost perfectly to the 4 cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, with an incredibly tiny margin of error.
Here's where it gets even more fascinating. The 3 pyramids of Giza are laid out in a pattern that mirrors the 3 stars of Orion's belt. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Orion was linked to the god Osiris, ruler of the afterlife. This cosmic connection suggests a deep understanding of astronomy that's hard to explain as pure coincidence. The combination of mathematical precision and astronomical alignment hints at an advanced civilization. Mainstream history says it was all the result of human skill, ingenuity, and simple tools, but others speculate about the influence of a higher intelligence, maybe even extraterrestrial.
This is where the so-called Ancient Astronaut Theory comes in. It suggests that advanced beings from beyond Earth may have interacted with ancient humans, passing down technology, knowledge, and spiritual insights. Supporters argue that the incredible precision and alignment of the pyramids would have been nearly impossible with the tools and knowledge available during Khufu's reign. They also point to Egyptian texts and artwork that seem to depict advanced technology or celestial beings. One famous example is the hieroglyphs in the Temple of Seti at Abydos, which some say resemble modern aircraft. Many Egyptian gods were associated with stars and were believed to have extraordinary powers. Could these gods have actually been advanced visitors, seen as divine because of their technology?
Inside the Great Pyramid, there are features that seem to have a celestial purpose. Narrow shafts, often called air shafts or spirit stones, appear to point towards specific stars. The southern shaft of the King's Chamber aligns with Orion's belt, while the northern shaft points toward the pole stars. In the Queen's Chamber, one shaft points to Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, and another toward a small constellation. Even the Great Sphinx shows signs of astronomical alignment. It faces directly east, and some researchers suggest it was designed to watch the equinoxes and solstices. There's also a theory that it represents the constellation Leo during the age of Leo, around 10,500 BC, an idea that challenges the mainstream timeline. Skeptics say these alignments could be coincidences, but the level of accuracy is hard to dismiss. Whether the precision came from advanced ancient knowledge or outside help, the monuments on the Giza Plateau seem to hold a deep connection to the stars, one that still puzzles scientists today. But Egypt isn't the only place with mysterious ancient stories.
Beneath the waves of the Indian Ocean lies a legend, a sunken city said to be the fabled kingdom of Dwarka, described in the ancient Sanskrit epic, the Mahabharata. According to the story, Dwarka was founded by Lord Krishna, the eighth avatar of the god Vishnu. Krishna is one of Hinduism's most revered figures, known for his wisdom, strategic brilliance, supernatural feats, and his role as friend and advisor to the warrior prince Arjuna in the Mahabharata. The legend says that after a devastating war, Krishna fled to India's western coast and built Dwarka, a magnificent city said to have been made of gold. But after Krishna's death, a series of disasters struck, and the sea swallowed the city in just a few days. Interestingly, this tale matches a geological phenomenon known as rising sea levels, which can submerge coastal settlements. This raises the question, was Dwarka just a symbolic myth, or was it based on a real city lost to the ocean?
In recent decades, marine archaeologists from India's National Institute of Oceanography have explored the waters off modern-day Dwarka. Led by experts like S.R. Rao, they found underwater stone structures, pottery fragments, semi-precious stones and inscriptions, some dating back to the Harappan civilization around 2000 BC. These discoveries suggest that at least part of the legend might have roots in real history. Sometimes the past leaves us with more questions than answers. Whether it's the engineering marvels of Giza or the sunken legends of Dwarka, these mysteries invite us to keep searching, keep wondering, and keep exploring